game change? Watch the game change. Watch the game change. Yeah.
Artlist.io.
Watch the game change. Watch the game change. Watch the game change. Watch the game change. Tell them that's like, yeah, it's still out there. I'm taking a shot for my enemies. I can't waste no more time on my energy. I know they know I got it on lock or against me. That's a long shot.
Music licensing reimagined. Artlist.io. Music licensing reimagined. Artlist.io. Music licensing reimagined. Artlist.io. Music licensing reimagined. Artlist.io. Music licensing reimagined.
Good evening, everybody. Good evening. Commander, what up, now? Man, look, I can't even talk tonight. I ain't going to pull my 33 brother card, right? The New York Jets just got annihilated by the San Francisco 49ers. 32-19, and the game wasn't even that close, y'all. Let me say it like that again. 32-19, and the game wasn't even that close. San Francisco came out. They made a statement tonight. They trying to tell everybody, NFC, we're going to take that top-notch quarterback that y'all think is on the other side. We're going to play with him. We're going to handle him. Yeah, Niner gang is salute. I got a phone call in the middle of the game like, y'all want to wrap it up? I was like, okay. I said, okay, auntie. You want to call me like that? You know, East Coast, West Coast rivalry thing. But Shout out to the 49ers. Yes, Brock Purdy. Let's get right into that, right? Brock Purdy, 19 for 29, 231 yards. No turnovers, no touchdowns he threw, but shout out to the running back Mason. Mason had a humongous game. People probably thought as soon as they saw Christian McCaffrey was going to be out, they wasn't going to run the ball, but that's exactly what they did. They ran the ball down the Jets' throat. This young man had 28 carries for 147 yards and a touchdown. Debo had a couple yards, between him and Debo, that's 170 yards combined. So they ran the ball 40 times for 179 yards. And they chewed up a lot of the clock. Let's just be realistic. They had the ball for a humongous amount of time. Time of possession. The 49ers had it for 38 minutes and 40 seconds. You might as well round that off to 39 minutes. And the Jets only had it for 21-20. And it showed. But, Aaron Rodgers did come out, played his first, well, we're not going to say a complete game. He played his first game in over, 2 years. I mean, the numbers it's not alarming. 13 for 21, 167 yards, 1 touchdown, 1 interception. But you can tell he looked a little nervous out there. He didn't want to move around, coming back off his Achilles, right? And the 49ers were waiting for him. They moved the pocket. They pushed the pocket back in his face. They was stopping the run tonight. Breece Hall only had 54 yards on 16 carries. So this is all about the 49ers. It really is about the 49ers because they came out. They made a statement. Their defense was flying all over the place, causing turnovers. The Jets had 2 turnovers. 1 fumble by Breece Hall that gave them the early 3-0 lead. Well, it led them to the 3-0 lead. And then the deflection interception. I hate those deflections, right? Because it's a deflection, but, they got to give it to the quarterback. But that wasn't on Aaron Rodgers. That was just great concentration on the defense. But like I said, this is more about the 49ers than it is the Jets, right? And it's sad to say because I am a Jets fan. But the 49ers really came out to play. They came out. They started rushing the passer early, causing fumbles early. They was on them. Brock Purdy made a little statement like, listen, I can do everything Aaron Rodgers do. I just don't got to turn the ball over. And that's exactly what he did not do, turn the ball over. Turned around, handed the ball off. They had about 400 total yards of rushing. 400 total yards of offense. I think the Jets only had about 2 and change. But like I said, that discrepancy of 2-to-1 ratio of ball control offense that the 49ers had is nothing you can do about that. When you get 3 and outs, as much as the Jets had, the 49ers said, nah, we getting y'all off the field quick. And then we're going to run the ball down your throat. Y'all ain't going to touch the ball for a little bit. It was cemented by the opening drive of the third quarter. Ran half the clock off, went down there and scored their touchdown. That cemented the whole game. That showed you the whole game in a nutshell. Aaron Rodgers got to get his legs under this, his legs under his feet under his legs. I almost said his legs under his feet. But he needs time. When you don't play preseason football, you don't take a possession and none of that stuff. You just play in practice because you ain't gonna get hit. Sometimes, especially a 40-year-old man coming back, when you don't get hit, you're gonna be nervous. When you don't get the scramble, you're gonna be nervous. It's different when you can't get touched in practice. There ain't no red shirts in the regular season game. But for the most part, he looked a little rusty. He made some good throws. But Brock Purdy and them just did a whole lot better than them. And that's just the realistic of the game. They did a whole lot better. Well, hopefully they get ready for the next team. I think it's the Titans next Sunday. Hopefully there's a better performance. Well, there should be, but that's why you got to play the game. The 49ers going to get, they may get Christian McCaffrey back next week, but tonight they did not need him at all. He could have wore him some sweats and a little windbreaker jacket because they ain't need him at all. This young man Mason looked like the second coming of Marshall Faulk or somebody. But shout out to the San Francisco 49ers. They played a all-around game. Defense showed up. Offense was efficient. Kept the Jets at bay. Made Aaron Rodgers look average or below average. I know everybody's going to talk about it tomorrow, but I'm here to talk about it today. Right? So shout out to the Niners. As Commander said, bang, bang, Niner game. That's exactly what happened. I like the way you're objective and not all one way. No, I can't be. When you love the sport, you have to see everything. You have to see the good, the bad, and the ugly. It'll be very easy for me to make an excuse about this game. There is no excuse. They got their tails handed to them. Open and shut case. Nothing even to talk about. But for most of you guys, the next game will be Thursday night. AFC East rivals, Buffalo Bills. I believe they're going down to Miami to play the Dolphins. Hopefully Tyreek don't get himself caught up with the popo. Talking about he got detained. That was just a crazy scenario anyhow. But that's starting week 2 of the NFL season. So, but tonight is all about the 49ers. It really is. It ain't nothing else to it. Look, the 49ers play the Vikings. So week 2, the 49ers play the Vikings. The Jets play the Titans. But it starts Thursday night on Prime Network as the Buffalo Bills do go to Miami and play the Dolphins. The Bills and the Fins, the animal game. And, we can start talking about next week. The Patriots, they play the Seahawks, the Giants, and the Commanders. Commander, I forgot they named the team after you. So you know who I'm picking, right? I'm picking the Commanders for Commander. Even though that ain't her team. I'm picking the teams tonight since ain't nobody here. But it's going to be recorded, so y'all can tell me who did what. Okay. The first game is going to be Bills and the Dolphins. Wow. Who do I want to pick? Do I want to pick the Bills? Or do I want to pick the Dolphins at home? I'm going to pick the Dolphins at home. Just because they're home. 49ers in Minnesota. Of course, I'm going with the 49ers after what I just saw. Seahawks and Patriots. This might be a little different, as I'm gonna go out there and say the Patriots is going to beat the Seahawks because Seattle has to fly all the way out east. I don't know what it is, but the West Coast teams don't really fare well when they fly out east and play the 1:00 game. So I'm gonna pick the Patriots. I already picked the Commanders for Commander. I'm going to pick the Chargers over the Panthers. Saints and Cowboys. I'm picking the Cowboys because the Saints they played the Panthers and they annihilated them. It ain't even going to matter. Colts and Packers. I'm going with the Colts because Jordan Love is not playing. Browns and Jaguars. I'm going to pick the Jags. I already picked the Jets over the Titans. Word might get me. Buccaneers versus Lions. I'm going to pick the Lions because they're at home. I think Baltimore's going to bounce back against the Las Vegas Raiders. Rams and Cardinals. I'm going to pick oh my God, I don't know who to pick. I'm going to pick the Rams because they got Matthew Stafford. Kyler Murray did play a good game last week. I just don't, and they're home, but I'm going to pick the Rams. Wow. The game of the day is going to be the Chiefs versus the Bengals at Kansas City. That's a 4:25 game. I'm going to pick Kansas City. I'm going to pick the champs, Steelers and Broncos. I'm going to pick the Broncos. I'm going to pick the Broncos to beat the Steelers. I'm going to pick the 8 o'clock game that night is the Texans and the Bears. So I'm going to pick the Texans, Eagles and Falcons. The Bird game on Monday Night Football, I'm going to pick the Eagles. So I got the Eagles, Texans, Broncos, Chiefs, Rams, Ravens, Lions, Jets, Jaguars, Colts, Cowboys, Chargers, Commanders, the Patriots, Niners, and Buffalo. It's all recorded. So y'all going to have to turn back to the 16.5-minute mark on the live and see what picks I had. But like I said, this game was an open and shut game as far as tonight game was. And wow, like, the question was going to be, is Brock Purdy going to be a top 5 quarterback? Is he now considered a top 5 quarterback even before this game? You know, he took the 49ers to the Super Bowl. He came right back week 1 with a very efficient game. He looked at very efficient. No turnovers, like I said. No hiccups, no nothing. He had a couple of bad plays, but the good plays outweighed the bad today. Some of the Niners came back, Brandon Ayuk and Trent Williams. They looked at a little rusty. As a matter of fact, Trent Williams had to go get an IV to get himself together. That's why their camaraderie and practice with teammates, it matters. But, you know, the way they was pushing them, that D-line of the Jets all over the place. I forgot Quinn Williams was playing. I really did. Some people were saying that police can count. Now, that's hard, Commander, right? And you know, it's hard to have that conversation, right, without putting racial situations into play. And I'm going to be honest with you, you have that fear when they pull you over, right? Now, you think somebody is as well known as Tyreek Hill, and that's your home, like you live down there. You would have thought you would have been recognized, but everybody don't watch sports, so you have to understand that. But, we don't really know the whole situation. The police union said he was acting rude and abrupt. He felt like he was acting in the right way. But how could we feel that way if the police that handcuffed him was disciplined, right? He's on modified assignment. He's on desk duty. So who gets punished for doing the right thing? You know what I mean? So something is not being let out. But that just goes to show you how important it is. It doesn't matter who you are. It doesn't matter what sport you play. It doesn't matter your stature in life, rich or poor. When them people pull you over, you have to you have to do everything you can to get yourself back home. That's something that, most of us are taught when we are small people, teenagers. If they pull you over, make sure you get home. That's the goal. Get your ticket and keep it moving. But sometimes, you think you right, especially when you think you right, you're gonna be loud and rambunctious. You're gonna stick your chest out. It's just like winning. The 49ers won, they had every right to stick their chest out. And I guess Tyreek Hill thought he can do that. He stated what he stated. Another player on his team, Calais Campbell, was there. He went out there to try to de-escalate his teammate, and he got he got detained. So it's like you try to help these people and you get detained for it. And these are well-known people. Well, Calais Campbell is about 6'6" and about close to 300 pounds. I think I would have detained him too. I'm just saying that's a big boy, right? But the fact of the matter is, if you're trying to de-escalate, you ain't supposed to detain the man that's trying to help you de-escalate the situation. You encouraging the escalation. You are escalating it yourself by detaining this man that's trying to calm this other person down. But I guess when you're in authority, you don't see it that way. Some people take authority and just run with it, my way or no way. The head coaches do that in sports all over the place. You don't know, but the player, like I play the sport, so it's about authority when it comes to those type of situations. But I'm glad that they made it out of there with no harm. But even tonight, right, they had a player on the 49ers, the wide receiver Pearsall, right before the season started, he got shot. I don't really recall what the situation is, but it just goes to show you that these people that make it to these big leagues, whether it's the NFL, the NBA, Major League Baseball, or anything of that nature, you have to be understanding that these things can happen to them too. I know it's not a sports topic, but it contains people that plays the sports, right? This happened to two individuals that's in the highest professional football league in America, and they were treated like they was plain Joe, plain Joe, because there was no females involved, I don't think, but they was treated like regular people. Sports doesn't make you any different from anybody. You're just an athlete to someone like this. You're just a person that plays professional ball. You can get touched just like anybody else. They can get touched just like anybody else. But I'm glad Mr. Pearsall, he made it through whether it was a flesh wound, I don't think it did anything damaging because he was on the sidelines tonight. And, it just goes to show you that there are people out here that may not like your stature, right? There are people out here don't care who you are. They want to show you they got the power. And like I said, for these young men, and Mr. Pearsall is of Caucasian persuasion. So that's even crazier, because most of the time you hear, a melanated person going through that situation. This time it was a non-melanated person that got shot, but he made it. He got through it. He said he's ready to play football. They're gonna give him time to heal and do all of those things. But the 49ers didn't need him either, because all weapons was on. No pun intended. All weapons was firing very well. Like I said, no pun intended. But it's just like I said, it was just weird this week. Well, not this weekend, the past couple of weekends leading up to the season. You got two incidences where, one person getting shot, another person being detained a couple hours before the game. And, they just wild for it, right? So, but, we're thankful that they made it. We're thankful that, that week one of the NFL season has come to an end tonight. Sadly for me, it didn't go the way I wanted it. But if I'm being honest, they got their tails. It got their tails kicked. There's no way of hiding that fact. The San Francisco Giants, excuse me, I said the San Francisco Giants, excuse me, 49ers. The 49ers played an outstanding game. You could turn around and say it was close to perfect. They outpossessed the Jets. They kept the Jets maybe to 45 total plays, and they may have had about 70. It was daggone near 2-1 possession ratio in both snaps and minutes of play. You can't ask for anything better than that. If you're a 49er fan, your chest is way out there. You saying to yourself, we on our way back to the Super Bowl. Kansas City, move over. But it's only week 1, guys. Everybody's making adjustments, right? Well, we hope so. We know there's the good team's going to make the adjustments. They're going to sit in the film room Wednesday and handle what they got to handle, make the adjustments against their next opponent, and put something into play. So, the Jets got some work to do. The 49ers just got to tweak it a little bit to keep people at bare minimum. But I believe both teams will be ready and both teams will be in the victory. But with that being said, we're going to look forward to week 2. Hopefully whoever's teams is coming out to play, they'll get the victory. I'm expecting the Jets to come back from this. I think they'll be at home. I think. So they'll play with a little bit more pizzazz. I think the home field advantage will pump them up to play a little bit better than what they did today. I tell you this much, they can't play any worse. Well, they can play worse, but I don't think they will. So, I don't know where everybody's at tonight, but, like I said, I'm just summing up the ball game as it was played today. And, it might be a quick show tonight. But, like I said, week 2 starts Thursday. Lady Shay, good afternoon. What time is it? It's 11:40, so good evening. But, just to sum it up, game week 1 and looking towards week 2. People got some things to do. It's a quick turnaround for the Bills and Dolphins as they just played Sunday and they got to play Thursday. I don't really like the Thursday games because if somebody got hurt, they probably more than likely won't play that Thursday. Yeah, I get it, Commander. Yeah, we're going to end it in a minute. But, for the Bills and Dolphins, they got to turn right back around. Hopefully nobody got seriously hurt. And now they got to play in 4 days? Monday, Tuesday, was it? Yeah, 4 days. You play 4 days later and then got a 10-day layover. But that's a hard adjustment to do when you play a physical sport. You tweaking hamstrings, you twist your ankle, you hit your hand on the helmet, you get concussed. A lot of people's not going to be able to play those games. But, the Bills and Dolphins, they're the first ones up on Thursday Night Football. You guys can watch that on Prime Network, Amazon Prime, but that's going to be the start of week 2. And we're ending week 1. I know a lot of people thought I wasn't going to come on here because the Jets got slaughtered tonight. Well, not say slaughtered. They got their tails whipped. But, being a lover of sports, you have to be able to tell the truth, even if you have a team that you root for, a team that you cheer on. If they get their butts kicked, you have to acknowledge that. Sometimes the better teams do win. And tonight, the San Francisco 49ers was the better team. There's no mistake in it. If you saw the first half, you understood what was going on. Yes, the Jets had one good drive that led them to a touchdown. But after that, it was all San Francisco. Till about, no, the second half was all about San Francisco. Even when the Jets tried to make it look close, even when Aaron Rodgers had a little bit of momentum, San Francisco stopped that fire before it even got started. They put that smoke right out with a nice drive starting the second half, letting the Jets know, like, listen, y'all can pack this up. We about to close shop. And that's what they did pretty much. And that's what winning football teams do. When you have your opponents on the rope, you don't let them get up and gather their momentum. You either put them out and have them take their standing 8 count, or you just TKO them. And that's what the Niners did tonight. They TKO'd them. So, but we're going to end the show tonight. I appreciate everybody coming up to end the first week of the NFL season with me. I don't know if Word's going live. He should be going live. I ain't getting no alerts yet, but he should be going live in a little bit. What time is it? 11, about 45 minutes, maybe an hour. Look, I'm so choked up that the Jets lost, I can't even talk. No, I'm not. I'm lying. But I do appreciate you guys coming up or coming out. I'll see you guys Thursday. With that being said, I'm out.